Said that, I will quickly introduce Jim. He is an author, speaker, and magician. I'll never actually forget the first time I met him about 5 years ago at our children's football game. I learned that he's a fellow Longhorn, which was a good sign. And then, he started to tell us about his story of surviving cancer, and it's just, fantastic and inspirational. And then we found out he's a magician. So it just kept getting better and better. A little bit more about his background. Jim performed his magic show to sold out crowds between 2001 and 2019. In 2008 is when he was diagnosed with a rare form of leukemia. I'm not going to go into too much further detail about his journey because I'll leave that for him to do shortly. But it's a fantastic story about how he beat cancer while also helping to save hundreds of lives along the way. Currently, Jim is employed as a strategy content creator for Gateway's 8 campuses and worldwide footprints. And he lives in South Lake with his wife and 2 kids. And with that, I think I will give it to Jim. Oh, I do want to give one suggestion to everyone. If you're in the gallery view, I suggest you toggle over to the speaker view so that Jim will be the main person on your screen. And to do that, if you take your mouse over to the top right corner, you'll see where there's options for a gallery view or speaker view, and you just click on it and it takes you back and forth between the two. Okay.
All right. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Awesome. Hey, thank you, Jennifer. That was very sweet. Appreciate that. Guys, I'm thrilled to be here today. When I found out that I had the opportunity to be an encouragement to you guys, it put a smile on my face. I know we're kind of all going through all this, and we're asking a lot of questions, and lots happening, and there's a ton of bad news out there right now. And so it actually reminds me a lot of what I was feeling back in 2008. So let me give you a little bit of a precursor on me. Like Jennifer said, I live in South Lake, Texas. I know the Fisher family very well. I moved here from, actually I grew up in Southern California, Orange County, California, where I excelled at baseball. And so in 1997, I got drafted by the Tampa Bay Rays and decided to turn down a professional baseball contract to go play baseball at the University of Texas. So I made my way to Texas from Southern California. I then moved from Austin to Colorado for a few years, and then we ended up becoming part of the DFW community, and in particularly South Lake. So that's how I got here. What I'm hoping that you get from today is you're going to hear a story about something awful that happened, similar to what's happening today. And then out of the ashes of that, so many amazing things happened. But, I really found my purpose. And it was from this rubble that I began to see a completely new way, a completely different worldview began to reveal itself to me. And through the darkest days of my entire life, and maybe for some of you watching this right now, you're going through some stuff, but through the darkest days of my entire life, I found my purpose. And through the process, literally hundreds of lives have already been saved, and thousands more potentially will be saved through what happened to me. So that's what I'm hoping to convey today. So back in 2007, I'll take you back 1 year. Back in 2007, my best friend and partner. I started a magic show with a friend of mine, and we began to tour. This guy was my closest friend. We started basically a nonprofit together. We were able to tour. We were doing shows for upwards of 10,000 people at sometimes. And so my good friend and partner, he actually was dealing with a mental disorder, and he was diagnosed bipolar, and he actually committed suicide in 2007. That was some really hard stuff that my wife and I went through as we were contemplating why this would happen to him. And literally not less than a year later, I began to experience some really intense pain in my right leg. It was overwhelming pain. I remember I was popping Advil 4 or 5 at a time every 6 hours or whatever, trying to get rid of the pain. It got to the point where I could barely walk. And so again, we're dealing with my friend's death, and I'm now dealing with all this pain. I keep in mind that I've got a 3-year-old and a 2-year-old at the time. I couldn't work. It was getting out of control. So we ended up eventually checking into Baylor Grapevine Hospital here down in just right next to our hometown here. And I got into the hospital here in Baylor, and the doctor walked into my room and said, "Mr. Munroe," he's like, "I don't know how to tell you this." He said, "But you have leukemia." He said, "The reason why your leg is hurting so bad is because your white blood cells inside of your bone marrow have exploded to such an exponential rate that they're literally crowding out your good cells, and your bones are breaking on their own, because that's how far advanced the leukemia is." He said, "Mr. Munroe," he's like, "I'm giving you 2 months to live if you don't do anything, like right now." And so my wife and I looked at each other, and that was off. We had awful news, but this was even worse news. Keep in mind, this was also when the entire world economy was crashing as well. So, everyone's looking at each other like, well, what's going on? Every time you turn on the television, it was bad news, similar to today. My wife and I, knowing that the best chance we had was to go to MD Anderson Cancer Center. So we immediately flew down to MD Anderson Cancer Center. I don't even remember what happened because they gave me so many drugs. They were wheeling me through the airport. I finally get to MD Anderson Cancer Center. The day we checked in was December 23rd, and they started intense chemotherapy on December 25th of 2008. So that was probably the worst Christmas present I'd ever received. Not only that, they had done some further tests on the kind of cancer that I had. And I'll never forget the #1 cancer research doctor walking into my room on December 25th, Christmas Day, and he looked at me, he said, "Mr. Munroe," he's like, "I have some bad news for you." And I said, "What?" And he said, I was like, "Is this worse than cancer bad news?" He said, "Well," he said, "the kind of cancer that you've had, we've done some further testing on it, and you only have really one hope. And here's the reason why. Your cancer has this mutation, this genetic mutation that is not going to respond to chemotherapy because your immune system can't recognize what's going on in your body." He said, "What we're going to do is we're going to put you into remission, hopefully with some chemotherapy. But because of the cancer that you have, we have to give you what we call a bone marrow transplant." I didn't know what a bone marrow transplant was. So he began to explain it to me. He said, "The problem with you is your blood." He said, "It's poisoned on the inside of you. It's venom in your veins." He said, "It's going to destroy you from the inside out." He's like, "We have to wipe out your old system, essentially your white blood cells, your immune system. But because you can't live without a white blood cell system, obviously your white blood cells are grown within your bone marrow." He says, "We have to find, before we can go through with this," he said, "we have to find someone in the world whose DNA matches yours close enough." And he said, "And if we can find somebody," he said, "we're going to wipe you out, and we're going to substitute this person's perfect blood on your behalf so that you can live again." And he basically said, your only hope is if someone out there has essentially a DNA match that's as close to yours, so we can substitute that perfectly matched white blood cells on your behalf. The science is crazy, I know. They checked my own biological sibling, I have one, to see if they were a close enough match, and they weren't. So now my only hope, I said, "Well, what do we do?" And they said, "Well, now your only hope is this 9 million person international database where we have to identify somebody whose bone marrow matches yours close enough than your own biological sibling." My own biological sibling and I have the same chromosomes. So imagine trying to find someone in the world whose DNA matches yours closer than somebody you share chromosomes with, right? So we waited. My whole life hinged upon finding someone in the world. So we waited and waited and waited. And they started chemotherapy, and I would go in. I'm going to show you a picture here. I would go in, and this was not like the kind of cancer that, let's see here. I had this pulled up, don't you know? The kind of cancer that, you kind of go in. This was like completely wipe you out or you're going to die kind of cancer. So this is an actual picture of what I looked like while this was all going on, right? So this is me now. This was me then. I was a dead man walking. My only hope, finding somebody. So it takes time, obviously, to go into the National Marrow Registry. They did. They got back to me and said, "Mr. Munroe, we have some okay news for you." I said, "What's that?" They said, out of the 9 million people on this planet, he said, there are only 16 potential matches for you. I said, 16? They said, yes. I said, is that good? They said, well, for a white male, no, it's not very good. So we kept waiting. My wife and I would take trips back and forth to MD Anderson Cancer Center just to hopefully see my kids. But I started getting so sick that I couldn't even see my children. But I'll never forget driving back to MD Anderson Cancer Center one day. I got a phone call, and I'll never forget this. They said, Mr. Munroe, they said, out of those 9 million people, those 16 potential matches, they said there is one. There's one person on the planet that we've been able to identify, just one. It's a 19-year-old girl. That's all we can tell you about this. I said, wow. And they said, congratulations. We have scheduled your bone marrow transplant for April 23rd. And this story actually ran on Easter Sunday, believe it or not, on Fox News and some other news outlets throughout the country, because it is kind of an Easter story. But they said, your new birthday is on April 23rd. I said, wow, that's crazy. I said, well, why do I get a new birthday? Because they said that on April 23rd, we're going to put somebody else's life on the inside of yours. And it's no longer going to be you that's living. It's going to be somebody else. And the life that you now live will essentially be by faith in this new system of blood. I was going to be kept alive by someone who saved me of my disease. I said, that's wild. My wife and I were completely elated, but they said, here's the deal. They said, we have to take you. You're going to be in the hospital for about 90 days straight in the same hospital room. They said, it's going to be hell. And they said, put your boxing gloves on because it's going to get crazy. And so I checked in on April 13th. They started chemotherapy. I celebrated my 30th birthday on April 20th. And I looked like that you saw a second ago. But on April 23rd, they dropped this new blood into my IV. My body received this perfect gift. And because of that, I'm standing, sitting, talking, breathing with you today because of the perfect blood of a perfect match, which I think is pretty incredible. But that's not the whole of the story, because what I think the coolest part of the story, and what I'm really hoping to encourage all of you with, is what happened next. Because I mean, you can look at this and be like, oh yeah, everybody goes through cancer. I understand that. My job that I had to, obviously cut short or put on pause while I was going through this was a magic show. So I toured college campuses primarily, and also a ton of different corporate events, I did some church stuff too. But on the whole, that's what I did. I would encourage 18 to 24-year-old students with my story, and just did a killer show. In fact, we used the same magic consultants from David Blaine and Chris Angel and all those guys. I did my show at the Majestic Theater in downtown Dallas, and we sold that out, which was pretty amazing. But as I began to get more healthy, I wanted to find out, like, who saved my life? Who was the person that saved my life? So they keep that information anonymous for a whole year. And even after a year, they'll only release the information if the person who got the transplant and the person who gave the transplant agree to the terms and all the legalities. But I wanted to know who it was, right? It's kind of like, wow, something somebody could do for you like that. I mean, she was 19 years old. It was a 19-year-old girl. And I wanted to know who this person was. And so I began to send, emails, and signed all my paperwork, sending emails every week. Who is it? Who is it? Who is it? And they said, well, she hasn't sent in her paperwork yet. And by that time, usually it meant that this person wanted to remain anonymous. I was kind of upset. But I ended up getting an email one day. I was eating guacamole at Uncle Julio's restaurant in Grapevine, Texas. I will never forget this. And I got an email buzz in my pocket. I pulled out my phone and looked at it, and I started crying. Because on this email, there was a scanned PDF of a form that she filled out with her own hand, like with girly, bubbly writing, right? By the way, when they look at my blood today, they see a 19-year-old female. So, technically I've got like a Justin Bieber poster hanging on my wall that I sweetly caress before I go to bed, and I've got a huge crush all of a sudden on Justin Bieber. I don't know why. I get really moody once a month. I don't know why. I'm assuming it's the girl's blood. But anyway, there was her name and a phone number. And so my wife and I went on Facebook she has a really unique name. Her name's Janelle, which is really interesting because what it really means is grace. Her name means grace, which I think is super cool. But I ended up getting this email. So we got on a call that night. We called her, my wife and I put her on speakerphone, and called. She said hello, and I said, oh my gosh, it's you. Like, you saved my life. Thank you so much. And she said, well, let's get on FaceTime. So we got on FaceTime, and she began to explain her whole process for going through this. She had heard a song from from a favorite artist of hers that he talked about going through a bone marrow transplant. So she signed up, out of all places, like a Katy Perry concert. And she was selected only a few months later. But she said, Jim, I said, what? She said, I need to tell you something else. I said, what? She said, knowing that that was the most important thing that I'd ever done with my 19 years of life, she said, I went and got a tattoo to commemorate it. And I was thinking, oh, she must be like into tattoos, because all I could see was this part of her, you know? And I said, do you have a ton of tattoos? And she said, no, I only have one tattoo. And I said, what did you get? She said, knowing I may have saved someone's life, she said, I got a tattoo of a jigsaw puzzle piece on the very spot where they put that IV in my arm, knowing that I was the missing piece in someone else's life, and without me, that person wouldn't be alive. Like, for me, that just changed everything, right? And I think in times like these, when we're going through the stuff like this, there's a shaking of our confidences, right? There's something that happens to us that's so much more than just, you know, what's going on with our finances, what's going on with our relationships, what's going on in the world today. We begin to reevaluate like who we are as people. We begin to ask huge questions of, you know, the universe, why am I here? What's my reason? Am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing with my life? And so for me, after I found out that the National Marrow Registry was responsible for brokering the match to save my life, and after everything I went through, and then also knowing that I was in front of the audiences that was their primary target. They target 18 to 24-year-olds, specifically with a religious background, which was mostly who I was talking to. I got on the phone with them and I asked them, hey, I would love to go out and do my show and then ask people to sign up to join the National Marrow Registry. And again, you know, I won't go into too much of the backstory, but I was having some of those major questions. I was asking myself, man, why am I here? What is the reason? You can imagine, like, when we get through this, I don't want to ever be the same again, right? So what I began to evaluate was, as I began to go onto these campuses and do these shows, people would start signing up. They would start signing up to donate bone marrow. And then what I found out was that we were getting more people to sign up for the National Marrow Registry, it's called Be the Match, than anybody in the country. So to give you an idea, they would go onto campus. They would go onto campuses specifically, probably spend about 15 grand for a week, stay on campus for 3 or 4 days, and sign up maybe 3 people. At one of my shows that averaged about a 750 to 1,000 person attendance, we would have close to 20% of our audience sign up to donate bone marrow. And so it was just this completely new, completely powerful, completely overwhelming, just worldview focus just dropped in my lap because of the literally most awful season of my life. But here's the thing. I believe that when we go through stuff like this, and we go through very hard times, the reevaluation and some of the things that we do to center ourselves and get ourselves in a good place is actually the fodder, the dirt that the universe uses to get us to a place where we are the most productive and where we have the ability to influence and affect and change the more people's lives, the most people's lives than we ever could. And so my encouragement today for everybody on this call is for you to know that something like cancer, something like COVID, something like the financial crisis, something like what we're experiencing right now can actually be the incubator, the environment that is used in the purpose of the universe to create the most successful, meaningful, and powerful moments of our entire lives. And so all I wanted to do today was to encourage you with that and to let you know that no matter what you're going through right now, I want you to see this face after seeing this picture and know that something beautiful, something amazing, and something powerful is right around the corner, and I'm 1000% proof of that. I also wanted to show you one other thing that I had pulled up here. This is this is a video of some of this really cool moment. Hang on a second here. You know what? Here it is right here. So I want to show you a video. This is the first time I ever got to meet my donor live. We recorded it. It was at DFW Airport. This girl saved my life. Oh, really? Saved my life. Almost died. Oh, that's all she is. So anyway, something that beautiful, something that powerful, something that inspirational, something that motivational, that literally is changing people's lives and saving them from their own situations happened because of the darkest moment of my life. So keep your chin up. Know 1000% that whatever we're going through right now, I promise you it's worth it. And the infinitude of what's going on right now, this will be important. I promise you. Cool? Okay, I hope that was encouraging. When you're on Zoom, there's crickets. I'm used to being in front of 1,000 people who are crying right now. And it's a dark theater, you know, so I trust that that was cool. I saw some of the comments. So I know I'm not going to get introduced to the, oh, we are crying. Wow, look at that. Awesome. Glad to hear it. If I have some other material that I guess you could probably email Bruce or Jennifer at some point to hear more of the story. Some of those news stories are online, and we can send those to you as well if you want to kind of get a little bit more of a story on that. So anyway, but I thought it would be fun today to do some magic for you. So why don't we? You guys want to see some? You guys want to see some of this stuff? Okay, let's do it. I was telling these guys beforehand that knowing that I'm on video, like I could have just pre-recorded a video and somehow simultaneously put it on Zoom right now, and you would have no idea. So I just let you know, you'll have to just trust me. I know you don't ever trust a magician, but this is happening live, okay? And I know that you probably think I'm going to do a few card things and some other things here I've got lined up. You know, why trust the magician with their deck of cards? But I tried to show you that this is a sealed deck of playing cards, okay? Like I buy these at Costco. And so I'm gonna open these right now so that you can see that these are 1000% legit. Everyone knows that when you open a brand new deck of playing cards, that you've got the jokers, right? The jokers, and then all the cards are in a new deck order. So let me show you a new deck order here. Everybody can see these are all new deck order. Everybody feels good about that? Okay, cool. So give me a second to readjust my screen here because I'm going to put this down and put this forward like that so everyone can see. Let's see here. Can everybody see that okay? We good? We're happy with that? Okay, so I am going to be calling on some people, but the people that I call on will put their hand on the Bible and they will tell you that we did not set up a single thing before this started, right? Bruce, Jennifer, and all of you others, I have no idea who you are. We didn't set anything up, okay? Correct? We're good? Thumbs up? Bruce, Jennifer, we didn't set anything up, right? Yeah, you guys can unmute because I want to talk to you as well. So here we go. And I'm going to get to the speaker view here so I can see myself a little bit better. So this is what we're going to try. So basically what a magician does is, you know, I've been doing this a long time now. And I'm going to give these a quick mix. Okay. And just so you guys can see, these are really being shuffled. Okay. Can everybody see that? We're good? All right, cool. All right, so Bruce, are you, actually Jennifer, let's go with you first. Are you unmuted?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Okay, super. Yeah, I can. So here we go. I'm going to ask you to tell me where to stop cutting the cards, okay? So anywhere you want, you just say when. Just say stop cutting the cards. Say when.
Stop.
Right there, you sure? Okay.
Yeah.
So this card, you could have stopped here, but you stopped here, okay? Now, obviously, I'm going to know what card you cut to because I have to, but this is, okay, so you cut to the 8 of hearts. You see this, yes?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is your card. We're going to memorize that, okay?
Okay.
And then once again, now I'm going to be honest with you. Magicians do this thing, we call it shuffle tracking. Okay? So what we can do is we can, oh, it looks like we've got a TV in the background from someone.
Yeah, I actually unmuted everybody. I'm going to mute everybody, and then you can unmute on your own. How about that?
Okay.
Okay, everyone good. Mute, please.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and mute everybody, and then just unmute if you're part of it. Here we go.
Well, we all remember that Jennifer's card is the 8 of hearts, right?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, let me unmute.
Okay.
Hold on, I'll unmute Jim.
Oh, you muted.
We got to unmute our speaker. I got it.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. So there's a technique that magicians use. It's called shuffle tracking. All right, if you've ever been to any big casinos and you hear about these card counter guys, one of the techniques that they use is called shuffle tracking. So even when the cards are legitimately being mixed up, they know where certain cards are. So Jennifer, I know you picked the 8 of hearts, correct?
Yes.
So if I cut right there, I can almost assure you that you picked the, okay, I was one off. I'll tell you what.
Oh no.
Was it this one over here? Okay, I was one off. That's not bad, yes. Right? This is the 8. Okay, but here's the thing with magic, this is where magic and that happens. You can actually just do this.
What? No.
Because this one of hearts. Not bad for a rookie. Right?
I was nervous that you had messed up.
Come on, Jennifer. Come on, Jennifer. All right.
Is that your card, Jennifer?
Yeah. Well, he like flipped them like, I don't know how
Let's try it. Let's try this. Let's try something.
We see that in
else
slow motion.
Yeah. How about, I'll show you something even better than that. This is for all you card players out there. So it's one thing to shuffle track one card, right? It's another technique that I've learned over the years. And again, you guys probably won't believe me that all these cards are different, but they are. See all these? Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. But this is a technique that comes in handy when you're playing poker. So check this out. You can actually thumb through and find out approximately just by sound and touch where all of the important cards are. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just like that. So shuffle tracking 4 cards is a lot harder than shuffle tracking 1. But check this out. Again, it doesn't really matter when you know how to do magic, because if you take these 4, let's see, Bruce, are you unmuted?
I am.
Do you like black cards or red cards better?
I'll go with the red cards.
Okay, cool. Then I'm going to take black and put them right here. Okay, so you can see. All right. So I'm going to try to. If you were here, I would give you the red cards. But we're going to take the black ones. Okay. And stick them right here. Okay. Okay. Can you see that?
Yes.
You're happy with that? Okay. Cool.
Yes. Yeah.
So watch this very closely. This is not a camera trick. Okay. Look. Like that. That's when.
Seriously?
I jump.
Are those black down? What?
I knew you liked the red ones better.
Oh, that's cool. That is cool. Oh my gosh. Can I ask a question?
Yeah, ask.
Just a real quick question. How much do you practice?
I practice when I perform now, because I started doing this so much that I don't even really practice. Isn't that sad? I don't even really practice anymore. It's so ingrained. I did close to 1,000 shows in 17 years.
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah. Okay, here, let's try something else. I don't know. Can you guys? I'm still here, by the way. I'm just got my camera going now. So we'll try this. I don't know if you guys can. This would be hard to see, but there's nothing on my hands. Oh, can you guys see that? Nothing on my hands. And there's obviously nothing going on with the glasses. And if you wanted to like look under my table, there's nothing weird. Again, it's harder with Zoom, but I promise to you that this would be the same. But if you just take, sometimes if you concentrate, and once again, there's nothing here, there's nothing here, there's nothing here, there's nothing here, there's nothing, right? You're happy with that?
Yes.
Sometimes if you just concentrate on certain things, you can kind of do. Look. Just kind of like that. That's my favorite dinner party trick, but you can see there's nothing going on with the glasses or nothing on my hands or anything like that. Good about that.
That is so cool.
Let's try this. Let's try it. Speed is back here. Let's see here. So I'm gonna put these up. I'll tell you what, Bruce, why don't you go ahead and name any face card. Just any face card.
King.
King of what? King of Hearts, this one?
Mm-hmm.
So you could have picked the King of Spades, you could have picked the King of, and you picked the King of Hearts. Okay. Let's try this. Again, I wish you guys could feel my fingers, but there's nothing going on here, okay? This is just one card, but watch this closely. Sometimes your senses can make you feel like certain things are happening when they're really not. So I hope that you can hear this, because on my side it's really clear. Scoot this down just a touch here. But listen, you can actually hear this. I don't know if you can hear this, but can you hear that? Can you see that?
Ripping, yeah.
Kind of like that. I'm trying to rip it really straight though, and I want you to notice my hands. There's nothing in my hands, okay? But if you take this and you get it down to the very bottom, and then you, can you see this? Both sides?
Uh-huh.
All right, watch, and you can see the shorn on the paper, right? You can see it's like, yeah, torn. Watch this closely. Just go 1, 2. You'll see that the card was never actually torn in the first place. Just like that. So if you were to rip the card again, could you hear, watch this close, you could hear it rip again. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But the crazy part is you take it, if you take it and just make it go, that's when.
Did you eat it? Is it in your mouth?
I just felt the round of applause come gushing through the Zoom channel. Truly blown away.
Woohoo!
That's right, poof. All right. Actually, you know what? Let's try the same kind of trick, but just different here. I'm gonna take the next card here. So what is this? The 4 of clubs. Can you see the 4 of clubs here?
Mm-hmm.
And Let's go ahead and do something with the 4 club. So Bruce, again, nothing set up, correct?
Correct.
Right.
Watch this, Bruce. This is Bruce. I didn't spell that very well, but there's Bruce, okay? Bruce, I'm gonna pick on you a little bit today, if that's okay. Is that all right?
Sure. Why not?
Okay, so Bruce, sometimes, let's see here, if you wanted to like, I don't know if you guys can see this, but you can kind of like bend the card again, try to bend it in a straight line, like that. Can you guys see that? Bending?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And then if you could see it like tear. Can you hear it tear?
Yeah.
Okay, and so this piece really does go on here, correct? Can we see
Yeah.
that? Okay, cool. Watch
Yes.
this. This has never been done on a Zoom call, I think, on the planet. Watch this.
The cards.
Lunchtime.
Oh. Oh, Jim, you did.
Is it gone?
Card, yes.
Okay. Watch this closely. Look.
Wow. Serious. That's serious.
Is it on there?
Like
It's wow.
that.
That's pretty crazy.
I'm a magician, not Jesus, but that was pretty freaking good.
That was amazing. That was amazing.
Bruce, how much time do I got?
You've got about, looks like you got about 12 minutes.
Okay, cool. Bruce, let's try something with you again, okay? People think the universe is random. Like when you shuffle a deck of playing cards, they think that essentially that there is, you know, life is just random and meaningless, that, you know, essentially you just kind of make up whatever you want with the hand that you've been dealt, right? So we're going to deal you a hand, Bruce. If I could do this with you here, I would have you cut the cards. So Bruce, just tell me where to cut the cards, anywhere you want.
Thin to win.
Right, thin to win. It's like right here?
Yes, that's
Okay,
it.
great. So, oops, I'm going to hold your break right here, okay?
Okay.
So Bruce, do you have any idea how many cards you just cut to right now?
No.
No, it was a random number, correct?
Right.
So again, random, meaningless. So from where you cut, Bruce, I want you to see this. I'm not going to do anything tricky here, okay? I'm just going to deal 10 cards face down, all right? So watch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. In fact, you cut only 11 cards. So these are the 10, all right?
Okay.
You following that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Bruce, check this out. I'm going to begin to mix these cards that you have, okay? And here's how you're going to tell me how to mix them. So wherever you want to say switch, I'm going to switch the card with the one before it. And you can say switch as many times as you want to. Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay, great. So
Okay.
let me I'll deal them down. You say switch whenever you want to. So that essentially you're shuffling the cards through Zoom.
Okay, switch.
Right there.
Yeah.
And anytime you can say
Let's switch again.
Right there.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want, let's do it. Let's go through it one more time. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So here.
Switch.
Right there.
Yeah. Switch.
Last ones again.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So do you want to do that again or are you happy?
I'm good.
You sure?
Want to do it again?
Doesn't matter. It's your call. You might be going to bed tonight and saying to yourself, man, I wish
You know
I
what?
would've
You're
done it
right.
again.
You're right. Let's do it again. One more
All right,
time.
one more time. You sure? Okay, so here we go. Anytime you want. Just say
Switch.
when. Right there.
Yeah. And one more time, switch.
Oh, you were too late.
Okay.
You want to do it
Good.
again? Oh, you're good? You sure?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah.
Okay, great. So
I'm gonna
look, I'm
sleep
not
good
doing anything.
tonight.
There's nothing in my hands, right? I want you to watch this closely. So I'm going to take these and I'm just going to deal them out from left to right. Actually, I'll deal them out from right to left so you can see. Watch this closely, okay? So Bruce, some people think life is kind of meaningless, right?
What? Those numbers look very familiar.
Oh, they do?
What is it?
That is my work office number.
This is your phone number? This is your phone number.
Yes, that's it.
Maybe there's something bigger going on behind the scenes of all that we experience with our 5 natural senses. And if we only knew what to look for, we could make out what was really true, Bruce.
That's kind of scary. That was really good. Wow. You try somebody else on that one. That was incredible.
Well, I got something else for one other person.
I know Chris Lauterbach's out there waiting.
I'm here.
Yeah? Let's try this with him then. What's his name?
Chris
who?
Waterback.
Chris, unmute yourself.
I think I am unmuted, aren't I? Can y'all hear me?
Okay, Chris is unmuted. Chris, here's what I want you to do. Just tell me where to stop whenever you want. These are all mixed up. We just mixed them up, okay? Just tell me where to stop, anywhere you want. Say when.
Stop.
Right there, you sure?
No,
Okay,
you missed
so
it by 2, but that's close enough.
do you okay.
I'm good.
So let's just say that we're gonna do this one, okay?
Okay.
So you happy with that?
7 of clubs. Love it.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna put this over here. Actually, everybody can remember this, okay? So I'll leave this right here. We're gonna do something a little bit nuts though. It's with this piece of paper, okay? And I'm gonna put this right here so you know that I couldn't have actually changed this, all right? And let's try this. Does everybody know what this is? This is a phone book, people. I know we don't use this anymore, but this one's from 2015 and 16. It says Northeast Tarrant County. If you have one of these from 2015 and 16 and you want to play along, you can, but because there's nothing crazy. And I've also included this right here. This is just one of my business cards. The funny thing about this business card though is that I've cut like a little tiny hole in it because we're on Zoom, and I want to make sure that we get a good show. So can everybody see that this is really just? Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. So here's Chris. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yep.
We're going to use the white pages section of this phone book because there's actually more numbers in the white pages. Chris, go ahead and choose a page between like 10 and 47. Go ahead.
44.
44. All right. So I'm going to go to page 44. I'll tell you what, let's do an odd number just because of the camera view. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
How about 43 or 45?
45. Perfect.
45. Okay. So I'm going to pull, give me a second here, folks. I'm going to pull this off and turn this around here so that you guys, can we see this? Okay, cool. So you guys can see this is page 45. And Chris, do you have a piece of paper and a pen handy?
Sure.
Okay, cool. So Chris, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to begin to grab that piece of paper and pen. I'm going to begin to move this card down the page. And whenever you say stop, I'm going to probably cover this up too, just so you aren't influenced by any of them. But I want you to go ahead and say stop whenever you want. We'll stop at the number you say. You're going to read off the number, write it down. Is that okay? And notice here too that this is 817 area code unless otherwise specified in the pages. If it comes up as 682, it'll have like an area code next to it. But this is an 817 area code. Okay, everybody happy with that?
Sure.
Okay, cool. All right, so here we go. Chris, here we go. On the count, let me do this with this hand over here. All right, Chris, here we go. On the count of 3, I say 1, 2, 3, go, and you're going to tell me when to stop. Okay, 1, 2, 3, go.
Stop.
Right here.
Sure.
Do you want to change your mind? Go up or down?
I'm happy.
You're happy? Okay, Chris, write this number down. Can you see this? Okay.
Nope. I can't.
Well, I'll read it for you. It says it's 817 66668
Okay.
5907. Does anybody else think that that said something else? Because that's what it says to me.
That's what I'm reading.
6685907.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chris, you got that?
Got it.
Okay, perfect. Here.
And if that's my desk phone, I apologize. I don't know it. I don't ever call it.
6685907, and you chose the 4 of hearts, correct?
Correct.
And I've had this. Now, Chris, this is a pretty, 47 pages. I don't know how many numbers per page. It would be really crazy. If this said, Chris, that's not bad, am I right?
Not bad.
Chris, do you have your cell phone?
I do.
Turn it on. Is it on?
On?
Are you not watching this through your cell phone, are you?
No.
Okay, great. Turn it on. Here's what I want you to do. Go to the phone feature. And then I want you to go to the dial pad.
Okay.
And Chris, I want you to call this number.
817-668-5907.
I want you to push call and then put it on speakerphone. And get it as close to your computer as you can.
Can you hear it ringing?
Yeah.
Get closer to the microphone of your computer.
Hi, you've reached 1-817-668-5907. Please leave your message after the tone.
Hold on a second, Chris. Hold on a second. Don't move a muscle.
Good. I've got a 4 of hearts. If you ever want to see that 4 of hearts again, you'll leave 50 cents.
5907. Huh. Hang on a second here. Hold on a second here. I don't know why that happened. What is it again? 817-668-5907?
Yes.
Okay. Well, once again, magician, not Jesus.
I can screw up just about anything, even a magic trick. You're welcome.
Listen, I don't know why that happened. So why don't you guys take that number and call it after this Zoom call, and we'll see if the miracles persist, okay? Let me do one more because that didn't end like I thought it should. What do we got as far as time is concerned, Bruce?
Hey, you're good. You got time
Okay.
for one more. That's perfect.
Do one more then. We're not going to end on that. Hang on a second. Okay, let me try something a little bit crazy here. Again, I've never done this on Zoom, but I'm going to give it a shot. So here we go. Okay. All right. So, I have with me this board here. Okay. I'll put this down, and I also have this bag of goodies, and you'll see why the bag is important here in a second. Okay. But inside this bag, I have a little roll of duct tape. It's red. Okay. And in fact, what I'm going to do with this right now is, first of all, I'm going to find the edge, which is right here. And I'm going to take off a huge piece of this, okay? So this is something that we close our show with. And again, it's potentially a little more dramatic live, but we'll just go with it, okay? I also have here a box of Band-Aids, and you'll see why here in a second. I also have with me this. Now, seeing this on Zoom, you're probably all thinking to yourself, this might be fake, but I assure you that this is not fake, all right? This is 100% legit, and my wife can tell you how legit that is if you'd like. Also here, there is a black bag, and you can see this, all right? There's no holes. This is a black canvas bag. You cannot see through this bag. All right. Not that you'd be able to see, but you genuinely cannot see through this bag. This is 1000% canvas. There's no hidden trap doors, dancing girls, smoke and mirrors, anything inside the bag. Okay. So let's try this. I use this just for help. But the goal here is to create a little outline for practice. So watch this closely.
Oh, I don't like where this is going.
Bruce, are you still there?
Yeah, he's muted.
I am here, and this is like, I'm thinking, what's our insurance liability here?
Watch this closely.
Wow.
Look at that.
But Bruce and Jennifer and Chris and everyone else watching, this is where it gets a little bit crazy.
No, don't put the bag on your
So
head.
you take this.
Bruce, I hope you're paying attention. You're doing this next time.
Again,
I can't watch. My gosh.
Jim.
okay, Bruce, I genuinely cannot see, okay? I need you to tell me where to put my hand. So do I go more this way?
You need a little bit to your right.
Like this?
Right there. Oh my gosh. You're close.
You're
Bruce, did you just say I'm close? This is important.
I feel so much pressure.
like, I feel like your palm needs to be
Palm needs to go
realigned or
in
something.
that. Just a little bit.
You on your
And then,
Up on the board.
and now, so if you need to go to my right, that would be your left. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. That's much better.
Right there. That's it.
Feel good about this?
Well, no, I'm not going to watch.
Jennifer, that's in your hands.
Woohoo! We did it.
My palms are sweating.
But yeah, I'd be nervous too.
All right. Everybody there at North Texas Relocation Professionals, thank you for having me. This was so much fun. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I mean, the magic was amazing. Would everybody like put their hands together or give them like some kind of high five? Isn't that awesome?
Awesome, Jim.
So
Glad you guys enjoyed that.
we did, and the magic was amazing, yes. But your story that was incredible. We appreciate you. There's several comments while you were sharing your story, inspiring people to even be a donor, and so
That's cool.
we'll share that with everybody. We appreciate you. I want to say also thank you, Jennifer, for connecting us with Jim. You've been amazing, and then also for you being part of the donation to the North Texas Food Bank. We appreciate that, and just incredible inspiration today, and it's really what we needed during this time. So thank you again, Jim. I just want to say also thank you to our sponsors and also all of our attendees for showing up today. I think we had 70 people that registered for the event, and just be on the lookout. I think Jane mentioned before we're going to have a program coming up in June, so be on the lookout for that, and just continue to go to our website at northtexasrelocationprofessionals.org, and we just appreciate you just helping us drive mobility with purpose in North Texas. And so for that, and on behalf of the entire board, I just want to say Thanks again to our attendees, our sponsors, and most of all to you, Jim. Appreciate you.
Glad to be here. Thank you, guys.
All right, we'll see you guys.
Thank you. Bye.